back to my channel. That sounds very cringy to say, but I don't know how else to start this off. So, it is Friday, which means it is my payday. As I said last week, I get paid weekly, every Friday, and the goal I have for myself this year is to sit down and do a budget every week, or at least attempt to, and that is what we are going to do. So last night I actually sat down, because my pay stubs do post a day early. I was able to see what my check was for, and I was able to just sit down, write down what the budget I had in plan for the week onto paper, and that way I had a goal and a game plan going into today, and I did not have to push it into the weekend any further. So that being said, I kind of wanted to also do a check-in from last week. We had $5.94 rolling over into our budget for this week. I take that as a win. At least it wasn't $0, so there we go. I pulled a total of $360 from the bank today, and that's going to be allocated into our different sinking funds for the week. We also do have a few fixed expenses coming out this week. Nothing big, nothing huge. It's just kind of subscriptions. I have my cash binder. I have the money that I pulled from the bank today. Again, I pulled a total of $360. And then I have written down the set budget that I have for each envelope to be stuffed with. First envelope we have is gas. This week I'm not going to put anything in the gas envelope. I always want to call this a folder. I'm not going to put anything in the gas envelope this week. We still have about half a tank left. And again, I don't work terribly far from home. It takes me about 10 minutes to get home from work, and I just don't envision us blowing through half a tank this weekend. Knock on wood. Next, this one I'm like always skipping. Next, we have groceries. So we did do a Costco run last weekend, and we did get a lot of the bulk items that we needed. So I'm only going to budget $120 into groceries this week. I don't really see us needing to get too much. I don't know if I said it last week, or if maybe I thought about it and I just didn't put it in the video. I was unsure if I wanted to actually take the money out for the grocery budget versus leave it in. But I was talking to my best friend about it, and for me, I decided I'm just going to go ahead and pull the money out. That way I'm not tempted to spend that extra money. We'll touch on that in a minute, because you'll see. All right, next we have our miscellaneous tab. As I stated last week, the intention for it is to be for personal money for my husband and I. I'm not really going to put anything in there this week. Also, that will kind of come into play in a minute. All right, personal / kids. The goal I have in mind for this one is to put $20 per child into the folder at least every week or every other week. $40 is going to be put into that cash envelope binder. Again, I'm not really sure what my goal is for this envelope folder sinking fund. I don't want it really designated for like birthdays and like gifts like that. I want it more for I don't know, school supplies, clothes. I'm not really sure. If you have any ideas, tips, advice, I guess let me know if anybody watches this. Next, pets care. I did not budget anything for our dog last week. My goal is to maybe try and do that every other week. I'm going to go ahead and put $10 in that folder today envelope. And the goal is for her a sinking fund. I want to have it at least hit $200, and then we'll see if we need to go up from there. I know, like I said, dogs get older, medical bills come up. I just want to start off lower so I'm not overwhelming myself and I don't feel like a complete failure if I'm not meeting those goals right away. We're going to start small. I'm not going to keep lifting this up. We have our car maintenance envelope. Just like the kids, I'm going to go ahead and put $40 in there. The reason why I'm kind of putting more in this one versus everything else is because we do have our temporary, oh my gosh, not temporary, we do have our renewal tags coming up in a couple of months, and I just want to try and get as much saved up as possible. That way it doesn't feel like a huge expense coming out at one time, because it's not you know, every month. It's not something that we're expecting all of the time. It's just that yearly cost, that annual expense that comes up, and you know it's coming up, and you just keep on putting it off, putting it off, putting it off. But you know, I don't want to do that this year, because I do that every single year, and every single year I'm like, why didn't you save up for that? And I'm kicking myself in my face. All right, $40. Did I already put $40 in there? I think I did. Did I? No, I didn't. Household. I'm not going to put anything in household. As I said before, we did a Costco run last weekend, and we got big bulk items. We got paper towels, we got toilet paper, we have dish soap, we have laundry detergent, we have dishwasher pots. So I think we're okay not putting anything in the household envelope this week. Maybe not even next week, because we do have bigger fixed expenses coming out, with it being the beginning of the month. We'll see. Maybe if there's any rollover from the week, we can put that money in household. I don't know. Savings, I wanted to, the goal is to put, I want the goal to be at least $100 every week would be nice. That would be ideal, to put $100 every week into the savings envelope. But, you know, adjustments are going to be made. I'm going to put $50 into the savings envelope today. At least it's something, and it's not nothing. Next, we have our emergency envelope, just like the savings. This is also going to get $50. Again, at least it's something, and it's not nothing. And we can hopefully see this grow. I took out $50 to be put towards a debt payment. I don't know why I did that, because I would just normally move the money from the bank to whatever credit card payment needed to be paid. So I'm actually going to go ahead and put this $50 back in the bank, and that's going to be designated for an extra debt payment this month. I know I had said that I wanted to touch on not putting money towards my husband and I right now. And when I say that, I mean, like, I don't want to put money towards that to buy something that I want, like a book. It would be nice to be able to put money towards that if I wanted to, if the budget allowed for it. Leading into that, I do have more money that I could have designated into each slot. I could have met that $100 goal for the savings. I could have met that $100 goal for the debt payment. However, I don't want to make myself feel so constricted and restrained to where I feel like I can't enjoy things. We do have a couple of plans this weekend, and I didn't want to feel guilty for spending the money on the plans that we have this weekend. And so I want to try and give myself a little bit of grace when it comes to that. I know, like I said, it's going to be a learning curve. I just need to be a little bit more kind to myself, because I do definitely talk down to myself in a negative way a lot of the times, which isn't good. It's not healthy. And it's not setting a good example for my kids either. I don't want to feel constricted and restrained because that is only going to set me up for failure. Budgeting, but also still being able to enjoy things. And I know Dave Ramsey's like shaking his head at me and being like, well, what are you doing? You know, but it's just not, it just doesn't work for me, Dave. It does not. I know it works, but it doesn't for me. Quit yapping. A couple of things that I wanted to talk about without going into too much detail. I do want to start at least a monthly goal for myself, as well as weekly goals. I got a new notebook, which I did not spend money on because I had an Amazon credit. I want to try and transition from this notebook into this notebook, have it a little bit more, I just had the word, have it a bit more structured. The goal for this is to include the budgeting stuff in here, but I really want to focus on spending habits in here. And so I want to kind of have it be a habit tracker and do a couple of no spend days a week and just see if I can challenge myself. I do that kind of already. And when I say no spend week, I mean like not getting fast food for lunch, not getting not making an unnecessary purchase. I don't want to include like groceries in that. I don't want to include gas in that because if it's already budgeted for, I just don't want to have that be penalized against me, because again, I'm just going to be setting myself up for failure. So that's what the goal is for this little notebook. All right, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for going on this journey with me, starting this journey with me, and hopefully we can tackle these financial goals together and meet them and come out with 2025 happier and with a stronger mindset and a healthier relationship between ourselves and money. I'm trying to be optimistic. I'm trying to be hopeful. And so far, so good. And next week I will do a check-in, kind of touch on how much we did spend over the weekend. I really don't want to beat myself up if it's more than I am expecting, but I do want to try and keep it on the lower end. That way we can have some rollover into next week's budget, and then also just not feel like I'm just swiping this card left and right. All right, better mindset. Everything's fine. We'll be fine. Happy Friday, and I will go, oh my god. Happy Friday, guys, next week.